Hey, what is up, guys? It's ElasticSpyder here from Brothers in Arms World of Warships, and today we have yet another user-submitted replay. This time it is BIAworldofwarships Geo 1976. Probably butchered that, but yeah, thank you for submitting your replay. If you'd like to submit a replay, make sure you send the replay file and along with the post-battle results to our Gmail. It is BIAworldofwarships@gmail.com. The email is obviously in the description, so feel free to do that. If you've got any funny moments or just a good game in general, make sure to send us that. But this is going to be our first carrier user submitted replay. Now, in the description of the email, he said that he was doing a little bit of a seal clubbing back at tier 4, and he got some heat from that, and I don't know why. But maybe because the enemy players were very frustrated, as many of the people probably would have. But this is part of the game. It is part of the nature to be seal clubbing. So he most likely has a 15-point captain. He looks like he has 6 fighters, 6 torpedo bombers, and 6 dive bombers. But he is definitely gonna have a great game. I watched this for the first time. It was quite amusing. For some reason, some of the carrier replays, they are a bit, they act a little bit weird. They kind of stutter a bit when moving from place to place. So I apologize for that. Nothing we can do here on our side. But initially, I'm gonna call him BB because that is, or maybe I'll call him BB Arrow. I like that better. BB Arrow, he spots some DDs for his team. He strafes the enemy carriers fighters, and he already takes out 3 of those. And he sets his bombers to go after the Arkansas Beta. As many of you may know, the Arkansas Beta, he does not have any AA, so he's a prime target for these tier 4 CVs. Not sure if that was an auto drop or just really bad RNG, but either way, it was a little unfortunate. No bomb hits. However, he is shooting down those planes with no problems whatsoever. Goes up for the torpedo attack, and we'll see how many he will get. After that, he switches back to his fighters. He obviously won those. Okay, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Only 3. 3 torpedo hits and 0 floodings. That's pretty amazing. And he's already up to 18,000 points of damage. I know a lot of people, myself included, don't really prefer the Langley, but others do, just for the fact that you have so much variety. You can either torpedo things or you can set them on fire. I prefer something like the Hosho, where you get 2 torpedo bombers. Makes it very, very easy to cross drop people. But the kind of combo you can get with fire and flooding is something that is very, very nice to do. So the Langley does have its strength in that respect. It of course has 6 fighters, so it does go well up against the Hosho, who's only got 1 fighter with only 4 fighters in that one squadron. So that is definitely something to go to the Langley. So as you can see, BB Arrow is a barrow. Sorry. Oh man, I already screwed it up. BB Barrow is kind of sticking with his team, but he's got insane concealment in the Langley, 10.1 kilometers, and on this map, that's quite a bit of the entire map that he's taken up. So he does have to stay kind of far back. But he's of course moving. This is something I would recommend in carriers. It's pretty basic knowledge just to always keep moving, especially with your fleet. And as you saw there, that walkie-talkie did get torpedoed by that Isokaze. A little unfortunate, but we'll see if BB Abero goes after this DD. He was lining it up for it, but looks like that didn't happen. He smoked up. He will probably wait for that destroyer to pop out again. since American bombers are very, very vicious when it comes to bombing enemy destroyers, getting a manual drop on them is absolutely brutal. You can you can do, especially at the higher tiers, you can do upwards of 20,000 points of damage with a single bomb drop. But the Langley isn't the best since it only has one bomber, but it still does get the job done. Now, BIAworldofwarships is going to go after this Nassau. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I do not do pronunciations right. I am an engineer, not a English major, so you can you can take that from what you want, I guess. As you can see, English major doesn't really suit me. So you can just see again, he is definitely seal clubbing. He's not getting many planes of his getting shot down, while he is definitely shooting down a lot of the enemy's planes. Not sure exactly what he's doing here. Probably maybe going after the CV. He obviously pulls back his bombers, no reason to engage them on their fighter. He engages his fighter with the enemy carrier's fighter and maybe lines up for a drop, as he does on the Arkansas Beta. As I said before, there is no AA on the Arkansas Beta, and he gets 5 bomb hits, 2 fires, so the Arkansas Beta is going to have to let those burn unless he repairs, and it looks like BIAworldofwarships is waiting for him to either repair or... that's what I would do. I'd wait for him to repair, try and get as much damage as possible. As you know, the Arkansas Beta has no AA, so there's no fear of losing your planes. You can really get the perfect drop on him. And since he is seal clubbing, not many of his planes are going to go down anyways. So he gets really, really good drop off. That's a lot of floodings, a lot of torpedo hits, and he is dead. That is something that you cannot deny the power of, is those American torpedoes with 6 bombers. And that is quite insane. 6 bombers, my gosh, you can absolutely destroy anything. It's even easier to torpedo destroyers because there's so many torpedoes, especially if you get a very good drop off, assuming that it's a manual drop, that is, because auto drops, they are not too good. They're really only good, in my opinion, if you are about to die or you need to get secured damage very quickly, I guess. But even then, a manual drop is just that much better because you don't have to wait for those torpedoes to travel as far, so that is oh so good. So as BIAworldofwarships is waiting for his planes to return, as you know, or as you may not know, it does take longer. The more planes you have, the longer it takes for them to reload and rearm. So obviously with American carriers, it does take a little bit longer to get them back out and bombing things. So that's slightly problematic, but BIAworldofwarships is compensating with that by just the sure damage that he's doing. Unfortunately, there we only get 1 fire and 1 bomb hit, but that is not to worry. That means that he at least has to either burn his repair or just gonna let it burn, which is of course more damage for our friendly Langley. The teams are about even. Looks like our team has probably about a ship advantage, just based on how many points are left on either team. As a good carrier player, you are helping your team by telling them what to shoot at and what you need them to shoot at and what's most important, because you as a carrier, you can see the whole map. You can see how everything's transforming and what needs to be taken care of first, and that's what BIAworldofwarships is doing. He certainly is trying to target the most deadliest but also the closest ship. So this would be good for the Kawachi if the island was on the other side, or the torpedo bombers rather, were on the other side of the island, but BIAworldofwarships is a smart CV player, and he goes around the other side. But we'll just have to wait and see if he drops on him, and when he drops on him, should be pretty soon. He's starting to shoot down some of his planes, but he does get the nice drop off. That is a very, very good drop. Those 4 or 5 torpedo hits are gonna only 3 hits that time, but regardless, he is suffering a lot, and he should die from this. Oh, he does die from the flooding. I was a bit worried that the Tenryu was going to steal the kill. Then Nassau is still burning from earlier bombs. He puts 2 more bombs with another fire on him. Excuse me. Let's see if BIAworldofwarships does go for the strafe, and he does. Pretty smart move. The carrier is sending all his planes in a straight line. Not able to get to the torpedo bombers in time, but the American fighters have recently gotten a buff to their AA amount, which allows them to strafe at least 2 times, possibly even 3 without having to rearm. And even then, you can still have, you can still shoot down some planes. So he's just kept these planes up pretty much the whole game. I think he only reloaded them once, so he's just keeping this enemy carrier spotted, and not much is going to shoot them down. So as his planes are going back onto the battlefield, we will just be waiting here for his bombers to get there. He is unspotted, and he is keeping his distance between the enemy team and himself. If you notice, he is also, as I was about to say, or as I was saying, he is keeping himself between him and the team. This is something that a lot of carriers, especially at these lower tiers, don't really understand, that sometimes they get caught out. They might be moving, which is the good thing, but they sometimes get caught out, not paying enough attention to the minimap. The minimap is, of course, the most critical thing for a carrier, just because he can see everything. So I would definitely recommend having, as soon as you get into battle, making sure to hit the plus button on your keyboard or on your numpad a couple times, so that you can have the biggest minimap as possible, so you can see exactly what dangers are coming your way. And a bit of a questionable drop, because that battleship was flooding, but we don't know if he was repairing. But it's a good secured kill either way. He is, of course, spotting the enemy DD, which is, of course, another role of the job, another job of the carrier, and one that is underrated, but is now getting some good recognition, as it should be in 0.5.12. It is getting anytime you're doing spotting damage, or anytime you're spotting a ship and someone does damage to it, much like in World of Tanks, it will it'll go into some calculation, and it'll give you XP and credits based on that. Meanwhile, while I was talking about that, he yet again got off another 6 or a couple torpedoes with his 6 bomber torpedo bomb. So here comes the accusations. The looks like that, I think it was the enemy South Carolina, called him a noob CV. I don't know how he's a noob CV. Based on this, 88,000 damage in tier 4 is quite good, especially for CV. I know in the higher tiers, the CVs have much better opportunity to do all the damage, because they've got so many squadrons that they can have at their command. So 88,000 is kind of a lot for this tier. And of course, the people that aren't familiar with the game know how the game works exactly. They don't understand that carriers are very, very good. So he is, of course, getting accusations. And he gets reported. Apparently, don't know how true that is, but it is most likely that he got reported. He gets 3 bomb hits, 2 fires, and the high caliber ribbon. So this is already a good game. This come down to the wire here, though. It's 1 carrier on either team and 1 battleship on either team. The battleship that we have is about on half health, and I forgot what the enemy battleship was. But either way, this is certainly still close. We are losing, and when I say we, I mean BIAworldofwarships team. But I love seal clubbing. That is so true. I do love seal clubbing. Seal clubbing is so much fun. If you don't know what seal clubbing is when you put a higher tier captain into a lower tier ship and just completely wreck house. Again, the torpedo bombers are coming in. This Nassau is about half health, 18,000. He is probably going to lose a lot of it here, if not all of it. More accusations come, like a Wilder tank clicker, brainless idiots who love to wank. GG effer on the CV. Damn right. And there's the Kraken. 2 torpedo hits and 1 ship killed. That is a Kraken. Probably could have done more. I mean, if he had more time and his team didn't kill all of his ships that he wanted, because he certainly has the planes to do it. He's only lost, let's see, 5 planes. So it's pretty awesome that he still has most of his planes left, because at this tier, every one of your planes means so much to your carrier and your team, because you get so little planes. At the higher tier, you can be a little more lenient on how many planes you lose, because you have upwards of 50, 60, and even probably 70 too. But as BIAworld is coming to finish off the enemy CV, enemy CV obviously has no more planes, and BIAworld is trying to reduce the time that it takes for his planes to get back. That is another reason why you should stick to your fleet, is because your planes can reload faster and you can do more damage. As you see here, 114,000, and most likely even more, probably upwards of 150,000 after this kill, assuming that he does get the kill. 1 fire, 1 bomb hit, and 1 incapacitation, most likely the engine. I did not see that, but yeah, it is a bit silly. I don't like to see this when people are playing very, very well, as our friendly CV is, and they get reported for just being very good and very effective in their carriers. But it's certainly an interesting ideology that some of these players are cheating or whatever, but regardless, it's a great game nonetheless. And if you guys have noticed throughout the match that BIAworld, if you don't know, you can set your waypoint using the 1 key and that sort of thing. It's always been on one spot. If you guys notice that, it's because for the replays it does screw up. It doesn't actually follow what the player clicked or something, or because when I clicked on it, it just did not work. But this game's almost over, and about a minute and a half left. Gonna get the obviously the perfect torpedo launch on him. Hopefully, this guy looks like he's turning into the seawall or the sea border, and this guy just doesn't know what he's talking about at this point. Just blabbering just to get attention, I guess, because I mean, it's what it is. I think the AA is not good at this tier, but it is certainly something that I like. It's something that a lot of people like to learn from at the low tiers, where the competition isn't exactly the highest. A lot of people are still learning, so this is a good kind of learning period, grace period, whatever you want to call it. So, but it's a little unfortunate he didn't get 30 planes shot down. Probably would have gotten clear skies. It is kind of hard to get clear skies now that they've changed a lot of things a while back. 22 seconds, 20 seconds. Let's see if he can kill him. Only 6,000 points of damage left on him, and slowly decreasing because of the flooding. That is, of course, one of the strengths of the Langley. Waits till the very last moment, 2 fires, and with 3 seconds left, he finishes the enemy carrier off. Moving on to the post-battle results. Only 184,000 credits, almost 2k base XP. Kraken high caliber, 138,000 damage to finish it off. Certainly a very, very good game. Tops the scoreboard, outweighs his second teammate by quite a bit, almost 500 points. And then just to show you guys the damage that he did, a lot of damage. A lot of damage with his bombs, and especially the torpedoes. 94,000 damage with his torpedoes. Credits are good. It's tier 4, so what do you expect? But that's all here from me, ElasticSpyder. Thank you for sending in your replay, BB Abero. I really appreciate it, and this is me signing out.